Being in love is enjoyable. The pinnacle of your romance is the wedding day. Years of happy marriage ahead of them as two folks ride out into the sunset together. But when the music ends and the formal attire is packed away, a happy and healthy marriage really gets started. Greetings and welcome back to another bestie video, everyone. Even the most successful couples have ups and downs in their levels of attraction, chemistry, and connection. Marriage can be an amazing journey. Important metrics indicate how well our marriage is doing. And we'll tell you what they are in today's video. Watch until the end to learn about all of them, from asking each other questions to not controlling each other, praising rather than criticizing, letting go of stuff to finding ways to spend time together, and more. You approach things as a team. You approach things as a team. Making choices as a team with your spouse is a crucial indicator of a happy marriage. If you make decisions that are advantageous to you both as a couple, your marriage will have a solid basis. Team language establishes and sustains a team spirit. When a couple makes the effort to communicate as a team, their marriage becomes stronger and more satisfying. Do you discuss decisions with your partner or make them alone as a couple? Tell us right away in the comments box below. You inquire of one another. You pose queries to one another. Some couples settle into a routine of merely coexisting after living side by side for a number of years or even decades. They give up trying to find out their partner's thoughts and point of view by asking inquiries. There's no way around it. It's a sign of a strong marriage when you can share your thoughts, ideas, and opinions with your partner, even if you fear your spouse won't agree. You prioritize the relationship over accuracy. You prioritize the relationship over accuracy. This indicates that you have a rapid forgiveness skill. This implies that you are open to considering their perspective even if you believe you are correct and the other person is mistaken. It demonstrates your preference for the relationship over your ego. In certain cases, even if you don't think you're at blame, this can mean you have to apologize first. Your partner will see this as an example of humility and forgiveness, and most of the time, they will reciprocate. You don't attempt to dominate one another. You don't attempt to dominate one another. This one is significant. When each decision you make has an immediate impact on another, it becomes natural to want to be in charge. However, it's imperative that you allow one another to be who you are. Despite the fact that these disparities may seem dangerous, the fact that you both have unique strengths and weaknesses rather than the same ones makes you stronger. Your first person is your spouse. Your first person is your spouse. Who do you call in good times or bad? Your marriage is probably doing well if your partner is the first to hear the majority of your good and bad news. Something is problematic anytime we realize we are depending too much on people other than our spouse. Our spouse doesn't always have to be our first choice in relationships. Friends are just as vital. However, we ought to prefer to share our lives with our companion over those with others the majority of the time. Searching for information on the newest stories about health and wellness? Click that subscribe button to become one of our millions of fans. Keep up with all of our fantastic bestie stuff. You don't pass each other by. You don't disregard one another. Effective communication is the cornerstone of a healthy marriage. Nevertheless, disdain can grow when one spouse consistently becomes sidetracked or acts as though they have more important tasks to complete. Phubbing is a popular complaint, which is the act of aimlessly browsing through one's phone while someone else is talking. Will you occasionally ignore the conversation? Yes, you are merely human. However, matrimony is a gamble, and the likelihood of a couple lasting is higher when they listen to one another. Together, you never stop attempting new things. Together, you never stop attempting new things. There is truth to the flatmate phase. It might lead to boredom and disinterest if you find yourself slipping into habits. This may cause other, more harmful behaviors to seep into the marriage. It can be disheartening for partners if their significant other is unwilling to attempt anything new, like taking a class or visiting a new place. Contempt swiftly follows complacency. Actively attempting to infuse fresh elements into their relationships frequently results in happy couples. You let your significant other to develop independently. Your companion grows apart from you. Growing together is essential. However, it's equally critical for couples to give each other space to develop independently. Constantly being needy and clinging might wear down your partner's feelings and make them give you attention out of duty rather than love. They may eventually begin to view your relationship as a job they might want to leave. Allowing your partner to develop independently of you is crucial to your own happiness. Recall that you are not a prepackaged pair, but rather two unique people who are in love. Some things you learn to let go of. You get better at letting go. You will inevitably irritate each other from time to time. You two will engage in combat. It will accumulate as you recall all the instances your spouse did or did not do something. The best course of action is to discuss it and move on. The partnerships between two outstanding forgivers are the best. There is noise in your home. There is noise in your home. If the nest is empty, it may be considerably quieter than it formerly was. A healthy home isn't silent, though. There is a significant amount of back and forth dialogue. You're inquiring, conversing, and trying to establish a connection. The lack of emotional connection is the issue with a silent house. Make time to play, laugh, and take pleasure in each other's company. You give each other more praise than you do criticism. You give more compliments than criticisms. In any relationship, criticism is required. That is how partners develop and comprehend problems. But a collaboration cannot be sustained by criticism alone. You are going to have problems if you are critiquing each other more often than praising one another. In fact, studies indicate that to maintain a positive relationship, you need 5 nice remarks to offset every bad one. Even when your partner isn't around, you talk about them with deference. Even when your partner is not around, you talk about them with deference. The overall atmosphere of your marriage will be determined by the words you say to and about your partner. Despite your disapproval of what your spouse has done, resist the urge to criticize them. Respect each other's opinions when working through conflicts and stand up for your spouse's reputation in public. Show each other respect when conversing with and about each other. You two are honest with one another. You're candid with one another. It's difficult to put your heart out there and show your weaknesses in a relationship. However, it aids in the development of strong emotional bonds, which are essential for any happy marriage. Your spouse's comfort level and ability to communicate freely with one another are indicators that your marriage has the potential to last. You prioritize your relationship above all else. Your partner comes first at all times. You don't always have the time to put your spouse first because of obligations to your children and your job. That's not the case, though, when you're with the correct person. Saying, "I love you," doing the dishes after supper, or taking them to that new restaurant they've been wanting to try could all be examples of what to do. The key is to prioritize your marriage above all else, no matter how hectic life may seem. This is not natural to some people. It takes effort to become second nature, just like anything else in life. Your arguments are constructive rather than harmful. Your fights are productive, not destructive. Even seemingly flawless couples argue behind closed doors. The difference between dysfunctional and healthy relationships is that disputes shouldn't be about who's right. They need to be more productive. This includes listening to each other, understanding and respecting each other's opinions, and finding common ground so that you may build your marriage. And please, call it what it is: a struggle. Don't go around saying, "We never have fights, we have discussions." A quarrel doesn't mean you are slinging insults or getting physical. No. Sure, you are discussing, it's a fight, but you may and should have a fair one. When your conflicts start to become harmful rather than being productive, it's a sign that you may be in an unhealthy relationship. There are other symptoms to recognize such a relationship. Learn more by watching 17 Warning Signs You Are in a Toxic Relationship. Now, back to signs you have a very strong marriage. You share each other's beliefs and ambitions. You share each other's values and goals. It would be boring if a couple had the exact same interests or personalities. Some of the strongest partnerships are the ones where the couples balance each other out. One of them may be too spontaneous, but their significant other may pull them in a bit. At the same time, such spontaneous individual might make their partner more extroverted. There are some long-term ideals and goals that they should share, though. For instance, if you want to have children but your husband doesn't, that could have serious implications for your marriage. You seek ways to spend time together. You seek opportunities to spend time together. This differs between phases of life. Newlyweds and retirees usually don't have to seek time together as much as a couple working 2 jobs and raising kids. This doesn't imply you have to spend every minute together. But it does mean you should arrange some date evenings. Some real one-on-one time where you can connect again. If you no longer desire to spend time with your lover, it's a clue that something is not right. While these might be signs of a happy marriage, it is very important to recognize the signs of an unhappy marriage. Learn more about these signs by watching 8 signs your partner isn't your forever partner, or 8 signs your partner no longer loves you. So go ahead and watch one or both of these videos to know when it's time to walk away from a relationship. How many years have you been married? Let us know in the comments section below.